Hello everyone, I am Shashank Prabhu, the founder director at Point99. I am pretty sure that all of you have wondered at some point in time whether you should be going for a coaching institute or should you be preparing for CAT on your own. In this video, let's try to quickly see what are the pros and cons of each decision and who should be the ones who should be going for a CAT coaching institute and who should be the ones who should be preparing on their own. So now let's start with an analogy first. If I give you a context, if I tell you that you have to drink water, but you have to drink water from the sea, let's say for example, then what will you do? You will go to the sea, you will take a bucket of water, let's say for example, you will come back home, you will heat it, boil it, filter it, then consume it after cooling it down. And even then you might not be sure whether you are consuming the right product or not. The other way of doing it is you simply go to the market, get a bottle of mineral water or install an RO at your home and drink water straight away from that RO unit. Now you know where I am getting at. The ocean that I'm talking about or the sea that I'm talking about of content is of course the social media that is present. So you will have YouTube, you will have Instagram handles, you will have Facebook groups, you will have Telegram groups. A lot of things are going on around you. एंड आपको ये नहीं पता कि उसमें से कितनी एडवाइस जेन्युइन है, कितनी जेन्युइन नहीं है, कितने लोग एक्चुअल कैट लेवल के क्वेश्चंस सॉल्व करते हैं या करवाते हैं, कितने लोग रैंडम क्वेश्चंस सॉल्व करवाते हैं. यू डोंट रियली नो व्हाट एग्जैक्टली ट्रांसपायर्स बिहाइंड द सीन्स. बट लेट्स से फॉर एग्जांपल यू जॉइन एन इंस्टीट्यूट, देन व्हाट विल हैपन? एवरीथिंग इज प्रोवाइडेड टू यू ऑन अ प्लैटर. आपको बताया गया है कि यही बुक्स हैं दैट यू हैव टू स्टडी फ्रॉम, दीज आर द टेस्ट्स दैट यू नीड टू टेक, दीज आर द क्वेश्चंस दैट यू नीड टू सॉल्व. So everything is made available to you on a platter. And in many cases, if you go for a reputed institute, of course, the quality of material is going to be top notch. So you need not worry about that. So when should you decide to prepare on your own? And what is that point in time wherein you decide to prepare through a coaching institute? Let's try to discuss. The first bit that I'm talking about in terms of preparing on your own is you should be extremely good at filtering things. So as was the case with the analogy, if you are really good at spotting which channels are the genuine ones, which people are the best ones to follow, which mentors are really good and worth their salt, then you will be able to make sense of the preparation that is going on around you. Unfortunately, a lot of the influencers on YouTube that you will follow will be the ones that speak about motivation in most cases and content बहुत ज़्यादा होता नहीं है. In fact, a lot of the aspirants would like to listen to motivating talk rather than solve questions. And that is obvious in a lot of scenarios. So if you are one of those serious ones, you have to start focusing on content and get rid of motivation, not entirely, but limit it to 5-10%. तो अगर ये आप कर सकते हो, then definitely you can prepare on your own and you can go along and absorb content जैसे आपको ठीक लगे. So when I had prepared for the CAT, I had not really gone for any institute as such. I had prepared mostly on my own and mostly through mocks. Now why did I do that? That was purely because I knew that I was decently good at the basics of math and verbal. तो अगर आपके पास एक precedent है, let's say for example you have prepared for the CAT earlier, you have taken competitive tests earlier, you have solved past CAT papers and आपने देखा है कि आपको easily 85 to 90 percentile मिल सकते थे, then I would strongly suggest that you don't need to attend a full-fledged coaching institute. You might go for an online workshop program or an online booster program to just ensure that some rough patches are covered. That's it. Otherwise, you don't really need to join an institute and go through the basics of the content that is delivered there. The second thing that I'm looking at is purely in terms of you being disciplined. If you are incredibly disciplined, you know that every day you will be preparing for 2, 3, 4 hours by eking out time from your already busy schedule, then you don't really need an institute. You have plenty of content available अगर उसको ठीक से filter किया जाए, and if you are disciplined enough to make sure that you are preparing on a consistent basis, then you would not need an institute. Who would then need an institute? Someone who is extremely scared of a subject. So let's say for example maths में बहुत ज़्यादा डर लगता है या verbal में बहुत ज़्यादा डर लगता है, reading habit बिल्कुल भी नहीं है, math कभी formulas याद नहीं किए हैं या समझ में ही नहीं आए हैं. So for all those people, an institute will really be of help. Because an institute will start from the basics in most cases and then they will gradually go towards the difficult questions. So वैसे करके आप evolve होंगे. But institute join कर लिया तो मुझे disciplined नहीं होना है, that is not really something that happens. We see in a lot of situations that whenever people join institutes, they are very active for the first 15, 20, 30 days or so and उसके बाद attendance धीरे धीरे dip हो जाता है. In fact, by the time 20-25% of the syllabus would be completed, the attendance would have dropped to nearly 50% or even below that in many cases. So you have to be disciplined even if you join a coaching institute. Now, once you join an institute, it is sort of required of you to trust that institute completely and उसके ऊपर आप पूरा अपना भरोसा रखिए, जो भी उन्होंने content दिया है उसे religiously solve करो. At any point in time, if you think that you need some additional support in the form of say mock tests or in the form of extra material or solving more questions, you can of course look at other avenues. But make sure that you have gone through the institute content properly. You are absolutely convinced that ये वाला चीज तो मैंने पूरा का पूरा इसका benefit उठा लिया है. I just need to do something else to boost my preparation by that additional 15-20%. अगर वो करना है तो definitely you can go ahead and do it. So if you are disciplined, you can prepare on your own. If you are good at filtering things, you have had experience of cracking tests, you are already at an acceptable level. Coaching institute की जरूरत नहीं है. But if you are someone who is not very well disciplined, you have had no experience thinking about or strategizing to prepare for the CAT, या फिर आपके पास बहुत ज़्यादा support नहीं है in terms of people around you, then definitely a coaching institute will help, because वहाँ पे एक ecosystem बनेगा. You will be preparing with other people. You will find it very easy to find other like-minded people and compete with them and improve. तो ये सारी चीजें अगर आप अपने आप नहीं कर सकते हो, then a coaching institute is going to help. Now the second question, the second layer is coaching institute अगर आप join करना चाहते हो, then should you be joining an online program or a classroom program? Now in today's day and world, I would strongly suggest that you go for the mentors from whom you can learn the best. तो अगर आपके पास आपने कोई मेंटर की टीचिंग एक्सपीरियंस की हुई है एंड यू कैन रिलेट टू दैट मोड ऑफ टीचिंग और दैट स्टाइल ऑफ टीचिंग, देन आई वुड स्ट्रांगली सजेस्ट दैट यू कैन गो फॉर एन ऑनलाइन प्रोग्राम एज वेल. क्लासरूम के अंदर अगर आपकी सिटी के अंदर अगर एक टॉप नॉच इंस्टीट्यूट नहीं है या फिर क्वालिटी ऑफ मेंटर्स इतनी अच्छी नहीं है, देन देयर इज नो पॉइंट गोइंग टू दैट इंस्टीट्यूट, वेस्टिंग टाइम ट्रैवलिंग एंड देन नॉट गेनिंग एनीथिंग फ्रॉम दैट बार्गेन. सो मेक श्योर दैट आप बेस्ट मेंटर्स से पढ़ रहे हो जिनके साथ आप रिलेट कर सकते हो. Now the best mentors need not be the ones who are spoken about highly by a lot of people. तो ऐसा नहीं है कि अगर किसी के बारे में 10 लोग अच्छी बात कर रहे तो आपके लिए भी वही मेंटर सही रहेगा या रहेगी. ऐसा बिल्कुल भी नहीं है. You have to experience the teaching on your own and then try to identify okay which is the one that I can relate to and which one will be the most beneficial to me, and then you will be able to crack the CAT. So ensure that you keep these things in mind when you are signing up for a coaching program and you are deciding whether to join a coaching program or prepare on your own. And then you can make this decision very well and start your journey of cracking CAT 2024.